guess I'm introducing us again. We were playing Goose Game. This is a post-commentary of the session because the audio was messed up due to my OBS being a piece of shit and deciding to change my settings back to default, meaning it wasn't recording my mic the whole time.
Well, intuitively, it didn't automatically have your microphone audio channel. We normally do channel 2 for mics, so that it's easier to edit it afterwards. But when your OBS is on its default settings, it doesn't actually have all the channels included. It only has the first one, which is just desktop audio. You'd think if you go into the advanced video setting or audio settings on your mic and say, I want this to be on channel 2, not channel 1, not 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever, having it marked as channel 2, you'd think it would then decide, oh yeah, well they're outputting to channel 2 the mic, so let's include channel 2, but no, it doesn't. And we recorded for about an hour and 20 minutes only to find that it wasn't there. So, how fun.
Yeah.
We finished the game and did all the side objectives and lost our commentary for that, so cool. Mine was there. It was a bit horrible. My voice is way too bassy with the mic settings, so I'm actually half glad to not be using it. Right now I don't have the EQ on, so I should sound actually normal.
Yeah, that's another thing I think we mentioned in this recording specifically is the fact that we had a new mic setup. That was the first test of the new mic setup, and it was ruined because I didn't have any audio.
We got brand new microphones, we got mic arms, and we have new headphones too. We've got everything. It's budget, but it's good shit, but yeah, just our luck that something unexpected goes wrong the first time. I mean, it wasn't technically the first time we came to attempt it because we did attempt to start recording this a couple days before we recorded this one, and I test recorded and my mic audio wasn't in the video. What I didn't realise is that because it was on channel 2, MPCHC wasn't playing it like it does in Vegas, because MPCHC and probably every other video player only do it. It's like when you change the language on a DVD, it's on a different channel. It doesn't play them all at once, it only plays the one. So I was an idiot and thought that it wasn't putting it in there for some reason, and it took me about maybe 2 hours of frustration to then realise it was in there all along. I just wasn't looking at it right. So
A whole lot of fun.
certainly gonna have to audio balance this bit out when we put this audio on top of the video. We're watching the Vegas preview and commentating on that.
Yeah.
So
Ugh.
this is the loud part.
Well, it's quite absurd how loud that is, but I suppose it's to be expected.
The microphones are Razer Siren Minis. I got you a pink one
Yeah, you did.
because obviously the arms are, I don't know, some cheap £10 to £20 mic arm from Amazon. It was the top pick one. It was cheap. It has the stuff. It does it. It does the job. And then the headphones were from
They are Superluxes.
Superlux, whatever the hell they were.
They are a strange one because they're very cheap, but they're very good.
They're 17 quid, but they're like regarded as the best performance for price possible ever, and I think they're supposed to be better in terms of speaker quality than my gaming headset shit thing was with the cool mic on it. I trust that at least, and I mean, I spent more money on those anyway, and your previous headphones were fucking £70 wireless ones that you still unfortunately had break.
Well, I dropped them onto the hardest surface imaginable, a bed.
Mattress, yeah.
From about a foot drop, it broke them. Like an entire ear.
It snapped the ear cup off, and I duct taped the shit out of it to get it back on, and then stabbed the inside of the duct tape to cut the hole back out of the ear cup so you could even hear it all properly.
Yeah, so if you're ever wondering how scuffed the previous setup was, just know I was wearing a duct taped set of headphones.
I mean, I can't say I was any different because that headset I mentioned, before I had that, I had pretty much the exact same one. That one barely survived me fainting out of my chair backwards and getting crushed underneath me. The ear cup and the actual hinge were snapped completely off. And that was sellotaped and superglued back on and barely stayed on half the time. It was hinging off of itself. It wasn't like a tight fit back on. It was completely sheared off. There was no screw or anything to mount it back onto and then duct tape it secure. It was just glued on there. And it eventually started to come off loose again. So I was really overdue upgrading those. But yeah, these Superlux ones are really cool. They're nice.
Yeah. They're a slight oddity to get used to after having a gaming headset for ages, because obviously...
This is the big ear cup ones that barely touch your ear is different to these, where it actually is kind of on the ear a bit, but not oppressively.
These fit my ears fine.
I just feel there's a lot more pressure on my head than there was with the previous ones, is what I'm saying.
I'm talking about the audio balancing. Like, with gaming headsets, it's often really boosted in the sort of the bassy areas. Yeah. So having an actually balanced pair of headset or headphones is...
I mean, what I found is that everything was a lot quieter, so I had to raise my computer volume. Then the problem with that is that means everything I'm used to being nice and just the perfect, not loud, is now loud again, and I have to deal with that, because if I turn it down, everything's too quiet. If I turn it up, everything's too loud. There's no happy medium anymore. The loud parts are really loud, and the quiet parts are average or just too quiet. You get a wide audio range with really good headphones, which is good. That's good audio quality, it's just not what I'm used to, and gaming headsets don't usually do that either. Because you usually have it compressed, because they're like, oh, here, everyone's footsteps from 9 yards away behind you.
Yeah.
As they creep up behind you with a shotgun, and it's like, well... Yeah, but now I can hear everything from everywhere on the entire map, and it's a mess. And there's only a few games where that's even worth it, because the games are chaotic, like TF2, where you don't... It may benefit you once in a while to hear a spy's footsteps coming round a corner, but everything is going crazy in that game all the time, so you're not really... You're not desperate for it.
It's made for shooter games, most headsets, because...
Shooters that only have guns and not anything fancy like a cooler game. Call of Duty. Heroes Duty.
Indeed, the hit video game Heroes Duty. From the hit movie Wreck-It Reginald.
Destroy It Dave.
Destroy It Dave.
Demolish It Dan.
Break It Barry.
Crush It Craig.
Ruin It Ronald.
Explode It Eric.
Crack It Christopher.
Smack It Simon.
Oh.
No, it's all about fucking budget Barry. A real DIY man name.
Budget Barry is the guy who installs your fucking showers.
Backwards.
Yep. Just like in our house.
Really makes me think of Ground Force now. Classic TV show.
You ever noticed that our shower is fucking wired backwards? Or like it's done backwards in the...
The dial somehow is labelled wrong.
Yeah.
Such that turning it to the left, which would supposed to be the shower head, actually turns on the sprinkler hose thing.
Yeah.
Where I used to live, we didn't have a shower like that anyway, so it didn't matter. It was either on or it was off, and there was only one way to turn it on. So
What an intensely relevant rant we're having to what's currently going on in the
What
video.
is there to say? We're running away with a bell making a ton of noise, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to duck the audio in this part massively.
Yeah.
Probably. Maybe. It feels really loud in my ears, but I bet compared to my talking in the recording, it probably might actually be fine. But I realised I left the desktop audio portion of my video on, so
Yeah.
I'm
So,
gonna have to delete. Well, I mean, I was gonna have to delete that audio channel anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway, yeah, we did it. We finished. We got it, and then we
speaking
continued.
aloud.
And then, yeah, my controller accidentally disconnected because the cable I was using was the bit of the weak connection one. So by moving the controller slightly, it disconnected, and then the game was like, "You don't have a controller anymore." Just plugging it back in. No, it's not real. It was never real. It was a mistake.
Yeah.
We accidentally had a controller inputting on your behalf this whole time. So yeah, we had to mess with the controls and restart and all that, because this has happened before
Yeah.
in one of the previous videos. Or actually, no, it didn't. The controller didn't disconnect. I'm talking about the next thing that happens. I'm getting ahead of myself.
You had a lot of controller issues in this game in general.
Specifically me, for specifically reasons.
Yeah.
For reasons
Right.
particularly known.
We never had any trouble with mine.
Hmm.
Despite mine not being
No,
even
well.
on the same computer.
I'm the one with the Frankenstein computers, so
Mm.
if anything would go wrong, it would happen to me. Tinkered with everything. So yeah, we had to restart the game in the hopes of getting the controller to exist again, because otherwise it just won't.
We did a lot of fucking with trying to get the game to work at this point, and
Well.
it still didn't.
Well, this is the meme. The controller works again. Everything is fine. And then, just like in a previous video, all of a sudden I can't run. And it's not like... I mean, we don't really know why this is the case, because this is a game issue. Somehow to do with the controller. And it surely isn't to do with the fact that we're using PlayStation controllers, because we are actually turning those into Xbox controllers via a program that works more than well enough in every game.
Well, if it was a problem with it being a PS3 controller, it would have
The game
also been
wouldn't-
happening to me.
Well, yeah, but the game just doesn't recognise... Well, the game recognises what buttons I'm pressing on the controller. In terms of Xbox inputs, of course. Because when we went through and changed the controls, it was fine. It knew I was pressing the button that was the sprint button, but then the game wasn't letting me sprint. And we don't really understand why exactly. So I think at this point we kind of gave up. I think I realised I could still input on the keyboard to sprint.
I don't think you've realised that yet. But
Well, I don't know, maybe
we just gave up on trying to get you to be able
we
to.
just decided to do it, yeah. At some point, who knows when it actually was, but I realised I can sprint again on the controller anyway, and then actually can't press the select button to open the list, which is the same as what happened last time. I was able to run, but then I couldn't press the select button. The game knows I'm pressing the buttons. You can bind them, rebind them, whatever, but then the game's function for them just doesn't happen for some reason. It's just a weird oddity for us. But yeah, now we are doing the special objectives, which is started by the cabbage one, the cabbage picnic. If only we'd known all these in the first phase, we probably could have saved ourselves some time. Then,
Who knows? I
well,
mean,
we're gonna have to do
a lot
some
of them are
them.
multi-area though, so
Yeah, true.
so having access to all the shortcuts, which we didn't have
We
access
didn't,
to all
no.
the shortcuts because we had forgotten to get one. But you know, having access to all the shortcuts does at least cause it to take a little less time to do.
We do at least get what I think is the only shortcut we didn't actually have anyway,
Yeah, we do eventually go and get that.
later on. Because we had the whole, hour and 20 minutes. We've cropped it down, obviously, because we figured there's not much point in all the blank bits where we aren't doing anything.
Yeah. Well, since we don't have any audio.
There were some good commentary moments, but when it's just going to be me and not both of us, it's just a bit weird.
Yeah.
And not really worth having, so... We might remember some of the jokes we made and mention them again, but...
I mean, yeah, we've already passed the point of one of the things we were mentioning, is the fact that in the miniature village there's a fucking postwoman who doesn't seem to appear in the game at all.
Well, yeah, we recognised a model of what looked like a postwoman, but then... When we were running away, we saw who must have been it, and it's the shopkeeper, the TV shop guy.
Yeah, but it's not the TV shop guy.
Is it not?
No.
I could have sworn it was.
Well, we thought that the shopkeeper was the postwoman, but it's not. They're not the same character. Yeah,
this is the shop sales ding. I cut out all of the before bit for this one because it was just running around aimlessly.
Yeah, we really fucking took our time doing that one.
And then I just skipped straight to us getting in the shop with the umbrella because not much to see before this setup. You run the guy, the boy, you chase the boy in the phone booth so that presumably his dad, the shopkeeper there, comes out. I accidentally opened the rainbow umbrella, but I dragged it in there anyway.
Yeah, the shopkeeper doesn't look like the postwoman thingy. Miniature, that's the word. So it's definitely not them. And so I have to remain convinced that my conclusion in the previous recording is correct, and that post people were in fact hunted to extinction by dogs in this universe.
That's an American stereotype.
Are you sure? I'm pretty certain dogs everywhere hate posts, and it's just a fact of life.
Maybe. Yeah. We chucked the ball in the garage and the achievement popped before it even actually really was doing the animation. Next we grabbed the guy's trowel and his flower to lure him to the shop in town, the market stall, because you got to get someone outside the town to do it, or outside of the street, which I can't think there is anyone other than him that you would do it with. Because the people in the gardens wouldn't come out of the garden to follow something.
That's true. I mean...
And I think the people at the pub don't pass that fence to the bridge either, so I think the only person you even can do this with is the farmer. Or the groundskeeper, rather.
The ground man.
Yeah. Because there really is no one else. There's nothing of the TV man's stuff you can sell, and he is in this map, so that wouldn't count anyway.
The TV man.
Yeah. Television salesman.
The telly man.
Yeah, the telly bloke. That is quite a good aesthetic. You don't get TV shops anymore. You just get big chain appliance stores. No one's... You can't really afford to just be a small appliance salesman particularly anymore. I don't feel like I've seen many.
Just go to like a
antiquated shops.
A budget electronics store.
I think I had one.
What are you talking about? Wiltcombe has a TV shop.
Well, I was just going to say, yeah, Wiltcombe obviously has one. Wilton's got a big one.
Yeah.
It's got a funny name as well. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head because we haven't invented it yet.
Yeah.
But
here is trying to score a goal, which is probably one of the more painful extra objectives to do, since you have to take this all the way from the high street to this random back garden past the gardens area, and we did a lot of bodging around because I had no idea where to go.
We took it halfway to the well, and I said, I'm pretty certain we've got to take it in for the gardens. And he went and said, oh, well, we can take it around the back and then skip there. And I'm like, I'm pretty certain you can't get back through this house.
Yes. Because again, you don't seem to understand that, unlike you, I don't have a photographic memory for places I've been.
I don't have a photographic memory for places I've been. I've just got a very strong memory for when I'm there again that I can remember. Oh yeah, I've been here. It's not very helpful. I won't get lost twice, but I'll still get lost.
Yeah, this is the awkwardly trying to get the flowers into the basket, not realizing you only need to put it into the basket once for it to count.
Fit in there at all, yeah.
Something we don't even realize until the last flower is in there, so... and here's us really bodging to get the hat off the farmer. Obviously the intending...
You grab the icebox and run up it onto his table, and that's the perfect way to get it.
Yeah, obviously intended. Here's the shortcut we missed. This one over
This
here.
is where we run into the back of it and can't go through, so we have to turn around and go all the way around again.
Yeah.
But then we kind of had to go through this anyway. I skipped to this bit because it actually meant that we remembered the bin. The toothbrush you need is in here.
Yeah.
You either use one of the flowers or a toothbrush, and we needed the flowers, so we didn't use the flower. One of them. It seems that woman here seems to prioritise whatever's in place last. So while the hat is there and she goes to pick it up and does, he bloody goes and puts the toothbrush down and she just drops it on its side and it stands on its side, this hat. And I have to put it in there again just to make sure she just actually realises it's for the head. This is where we grab the glasses, the cool glasses, specifically.
Yeah. Which you weren't sure we could even pick up. But
I had to grab them other glasses
I assured
first.
you we could, because we managed to get them on the boy the first time.
Oh yeah, and we segue before finishing that to get the catch.
Yep.
It took about maybe 3 or 4 attempts before we got that one.
Yeah.
I think I left this bit unclipped for a while because everything happens in nice quick succession rather than with random gaps of messing around.
Yeah.
It's the bust just up. And the cheesiest meme here that I'm right next to her and I managed to hide there in plain sight for the bow as she's walking right by, and you couldn't believe that actually worked.
Considering how much pain we went through to try and get her to do it last time.
You just seem to be unlucky with it. Because now you try to get the red bow, since we found the blue bow and took it up here as well. And she looks right at it, and is like, oh, where's the duck? And it's not there. And she goes back to painting, and despite just picking up the paintbrush, she just instantly turns around and looks at you, somehow.
I'm just fated to never have the bow. just not possible. But in lieu of not spending another fucking hour trying to get a bow on me, we
leave, only to then not realise that the bow comes off in the hedge and I get stuck in the house. Because you can't come backwards through the house, you're always stuck smashing through to the doorway. So,
which I didn't realise, which meant that I was just stood there for a while, waiting for him to come back
I
out.
was trying to get out, and then I was like, oh, I can't come back. So...
yeah, clueless there, thinking, why isn't he coming out?
No, they throw the thing out, opening the door a second time. So yeah, we have to get the bow on again.
Yep. And I forget you can't just go back out that way, so...
Yeah, they lock it again, and you can't bite the thing off. This was suffering.
Yeah.
Getting past the pub guy was extra difficult this time for some reason.
Yeah.
And while I'm trying to do the performance of the achievement,
I'm getting absolutely bullied
you
over
got
there.
destroyed, and then he ignores you, probably because he's pushed you off screen. You've died. Smash Bros.
Yeah.
KO.
No, he actually murdered me off screen. It's actually a replacement duck that gets put
That's
on.
your respawn on the platform.
Yeah. Well, it's a separate goose now.
Yeah. Every stock is a separate instance of that character.
Yeah.
But yeah, we
It's
get
not-
it just barely, and then I grab the flower, and we do this reenactment, but this time we remember to actually grab his hat. Because that's a thing you could have done in a verse space. We could have done this one already, but we didn't think to do it, so
Well, we didn't know it was something.
we
that
never had
you
any idea, yeah. It could go without saying. Once you've been told, it's like, oh yeah, obviously. But when you're doing it the first time, you just might ignore that possibility. Yeah, we take that flower out of the basket. And then we check the list again.
Should be said we don't do any other speed stuff this time.
We don't bother to do it because we spent an hour and 20 minutes the whole thing, so there was no reason to do the speed ones. You get 7 minutes to do the sections, so at least if we are doing that, that might make a good video that we wouldn't have to cut down necessarily so much, at least.
I believe this video was, or this part of the video was rife with Chuckle Brothers references.
Yeah, this is where we were going. To me, to you.
Exactly.
The classic Chuckle Brothers. Legends in their own right.
Yeah. But without my audio, that would have been sad.
To me.
The single Chuckle Brother.
So
When you say to me and no one responds.
it's one of them cursed YouTube videos where it's just to me and it's just an echo. One of
Yeah.
those boomer shooters disappearing ones, but it's to me and it echoes out.
It's nothing sadder than a single Chuckle Brother.
All by myself begins to play. Yeah, that's the thing. A Chuckle brother. Brother to whom? If you're the only one. Only child.
Yeah, if you're an only child, you can never be a Chuckle Brother. It's just a fact of life.
A Chuckle only child. You managed to knock the guy over from across the fence with the box shenanigans. What's this? This is trying to grab that flower.
Yeah, we missed this
Suffering
flower, so-
immensely.
Yeah, of course, this woman is a demon.
Dangerous. She's worse than the pub guy.
Yeah.
Turn off the radio by accident. Grabbing the bottle there was the perfect distraction.
Mm.
And then I think I'll leave this bit in because we're going to go this way and then we decide to go the other way. Because
Yeah.
we think it might be shorter to go for that shortcut we did actually open. Finally. I need to run past the woman again and suffer a bit more.
Mm.
She was waiting.
She was just arbitrarily outside of her shop, lying in ambush. At least this part of the video does serve to show that we did in fact open this shortcut. All is well in the universe.
Certainly is faster going that way, I reckon.
Hmm.
Still, I just dropped it in carelessly and you decided it had to go in.
Yeah,
And then it rolled out anyway. And it was actually counted anyway.
well, I didn't know at that point that you
No,
couldn't.
we need
You could just leave it.
we
then
have
we're
to go
back
to the
to the
model
model
village
village.
for the chrysanthemum there.
Yeah. I believe this was the last thing we needed, wasn't it?
Yeah, we're basically at the end of the video now.
Hmm.
We put this in, we get the achievement, and then we celebrate.
Amazing.
And then yeah, we got it.
Did them all.